In today's video, I want to show you how you can get the most out of using Google Photos by giving you my best tips. Tips like how to easily import photos from either your phone or device or maybe someplace else like another social media network. Other ways, once you've got those photos in Google Photos, that you can enhance or edit them, as well as cool search features to help you organize your photos. And then once you've got them all in there and organized, cool tricks like creating collages, animations, even slideshows, and then of course backing up your photos as well. All these great tips are coming up next. Hey everyone, my name is Jeff, and on this channel I do tip tutorial videos just like this one on tech as well as tech reviews and more in my weekly videos. And be sure to stick around till the end of this video, as I'm going to be showing you how you can free up extra space on your phone or device just by using Google Photos. And at any time during this video, there'll be timestamps down in the video description so you can jump around to whatever topics are of most interest to you. But I think you'll want to stick around for this entire video because it is action-packed with lots of great tips to help you get the most out of using Google Photos. So let's get into it. The first thing you're going to want to do with the app if you are brand new is you're going to want to import photos into it. The easiest way you can do this is have it copy the photos that are in your Pictures folder, and you can do this by scrolling to the very top of the Google Photos app, and in that upper right corner you'll see a picture of my profile. I'm going to tap on that, and in here we've got all of our information about our account. We're going to go down to the bottom where it says Photo Settings, and I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. And right here under Settings at the top it says Backup and Sync, and I can go ahead and tap on that. And you want to make sure that at the top where it says Backup and Sync that is turned on, and that is going to upload photos and videos from your device to your Google Photos account, and it's going to do that automatically. And it's going to sync those up with every available chance that it gets. Now you can scroll down on this page and see things like the upload size, as well as what folders you actually want it to back up. So upload size, you have a couple of different options. I just want to tell you that you are limited to 15 gigabytes of space for your Google account. And this is shared through Google Photos, your Gmail, your Google Drive. So if you want, you can save all of your photos in original quality as it's set right now, but under Settings where it says Upload Size, I'm going to tap on Original Quality. You can also change that to Storage Saver, and you can store more photos at a slightly reduced quality. So they're not going to be at the original quality that you're uploading them. You can choose what setting you want to use with that. Also under Backup Device Folders, if I tap on that, you're going to see all these different folders that are on my phone. If I have a certain folder that I've created that I want it to automatically back up photos from, I can just turn that folder on, and that might be security photo images, it might be screenshots. So you can choose what folders you want turned on, but between doing those two actions, backing up and syncing, and choosing the specific folders, that's going to start populating and backing up photos to your Google Photos account. So from this point, one other option that we can do that I want to show you real quick is you can grab photos from anywhere, including other social media places, things like that. And you're going to want to do that by tapping on the Library button that's going to be in the very lower right corner. And under Library, you're then going to tap at the top, you see Utilities. Tap on Utilities, and then under Utilities, go ahead and scroll all the way to the bottom. So at the bottom, you're also going to see Import Photos. And if I click on Import Photos, I've got a couple of different options here. I can copy images from other services such as Facebook. I can also digitize photos, so older photos that I might have. I can take pictures of those photos with my phone to digitize them. I can also manually copy from a camera and back up specific folders this way as well. But if you were going to copy from other services, if I tap on that, you'll see here's some examples, and you can tap on those specific things like Facebook, and it'll give you more specific instructions. But regardless, you can get all of your photos into Google Photos, and then you can start working with them. Now, I also want to let you know that in addition to putting all my photos in Google Photos, I do have external hard drives, which I have purchased for my own keeping of photos and videos as another source of a backup. I always like having multiple backups of my photos. So even though I've got my photos on my phone and now I've got them backed up to Google Photos, I also back up another copy of those photos to my external hard drives. And sometimes I'll drag those over manually when I've got my phone syncing to a computer. But you can also download all your photos and videos back out of Google Photos, and I've previously done a video on how to do that. That will be linked in this video description, as well as there will be a card popping up here as well. But I always recommend having another backup of your photos and videos besides what's in Google Photos. And real quick, I've hidden Tinker in this video. He's our little hidden robot, and he looks just like this guy on my shirt, and he briefly pops up in all the videos that I do on this channel. So be on the lookout for finding Tinker popping up. If you are the first person to spot Tinker, my hidden robot, in this video, let me know down in the comments section below, along with the timestamp, the amount of time into this video that you spotted him. And if you're that first person, I'll put your name on our Tinker Forward Hall of Fame page, as well as give you a shout out in a future video, just like Brody Telford, one of our recent viewers, to find Tinker in one of our recent videos. So you've got all your photos uploaded, and if you click on the Photos button on the lower left, that's going to take you to your Photos feed, and this is essentially just going to start with the most recent photos and work its way back. And you're going to see highlights or memories of photos at the very top, and then underneath that are all the more recent photos going all the way to the oldest photos. And I want to show you how you can edit photos. So we're going to just tap on Search, which is that second button on the lower part of my phone. I'm going to search for an event. And we actually went to Mount Rushmore, and you can see Mount Rushmore in the background. What I am going to do is click the Edit button on the bottom of my phone, and from this point, this gives us all sorts of different buttons or options here that we can just tap on, such as Enhance, Dynamic, Portrait. We'll give Portrait a second. This is a really cool effect, but you'll notice it's now blurred the background, but you can see my daughter and I are still, we're kind of that 3D popping out of the screen effect. We're going to go back here. Let's just go to Enhance. So all different options. I can scroll through. There's a color pop, which is cool. We're in color and the background is now black and white. If we go back to, if we take all those settings off, under those buttons you'll see crop. So you can crop it, you can rotate the picture. Different tools where we can blur the background, kind of like we did previously, but now you can choose what amount you would like to do that, and then you can hit done, and you'll kind of see that you can adjust all of that. You can also adjust brightness, contrast, so lots of different filters, lots of different things you can do with your picture, and when you get it to the point where you like it, you can click Save Copy. So let's talk about organizing your photos in Google Photos. You now have all these photos imported, and if you go to the Photos button in the lower left corner of your Photos app, if you scroll all the way to the top, you're going to see your most recent photos, and as you scroll down, you're going to keep seeing older photos from that point all the way to the oldest photos that you have. But you may have thousands and thousands of photos, and that may not be the most efficient way to organize them. I would say you're either going to want to organize them by date, by event, or by location. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to essentially create albums. And sometimes Google will create albums for you based on what it feels might be a collection of photos. I like to do it manually. We went to Mexico this last spring, and here we are Thursday, March 24th. And if I was going to group all these photos together, what I can do is tap on one of these photos, and then I can keep selecting more of these, and as the check marks appear, that's me putting all these photos as being selected. And as a very quick way of doing this, I can also just tap the circle next to the date, and that's going to quick select all the photos from that day. Now from that point, I can go up to the plus button that's towards the top of the screen. And as I tap on that, it's going to give me options here where I can create an album or a shared album. And you can always turn an album into a shared album. But if we go ahead and tap on album, it's going to take all those photos that I selected, and it's now going to allow me to give them a title. I might want to call this Mexico. And from this point, it's going to start populating this album with all those photos that I selected. Now, in addition to this, if you have tons of photos and you're not doing this by event, I recommend that you turn this album into maybe a year. So these were in 2022. I could title this album 2022. If you take a ton of photos every day, maybe 2022 is going to be too big of a collection of photos. I recommend you either break it down into quarters, so maybe first quarter of 2022, or maybe by month. So I could have this be March of 2022. And then when I have titled this album as what I want, I'm going to go ahead and hit that check mark in the upper left corner, and that's going to create this album. Now I've got all these photos saved as a 2022 March album, and I can go in at any time, click those three dots at the upper right corner, and I can edit this. So if I wanted to change the name, I could do that. Now from this point, we've got all these great photos. I might want to share these photos with family and friends. I can also add more photos to this album at any time by clicking those buttons that are there. But if I tap on share, from this point, this is going to bring up an area where I can invite other people to view this album. I can also, underneath that, send a message. I can send a link to this album in a text message. I can also get the shareable link for this album, and then I can do anything with that link. I can put it in a text message, I could post it to social media, I could email it to somebody, all different options for sharing these photos. Now if you want somebody else to see the photos on a mobile device, they are going to also have to download the Google Photos app. However, if you are sharing these photos with somebody in like an email and then they're viewing that link on a computer, they don't have to have the Google Photos app installed. They can just have their web browser like Google Chrome or something, and when they click that link, it's going to take them right to this album of pictures that's going to pop up on their web page. And do you need to transfer any of your Google Photos from one Google Photos account to another? Maybe you've created another account, or as an example, my wife and I both have separate Google Photos accounts, and we like to share photos across those accounts. So we've got access to both of them. She can see my photos, I can see hers. I've done a whole other video that talks about this whole process to make it easy for you. That will be linked in the cards popping up here, as well as down in this video description. There'll be a link to that video as well. You don't want to miss how to transfer your Google Photos. So the other easy way that you can group photos is by location, and you can do this by tapping on the search button at the very lower portion of your device, and then you are going to see your map, which is going to be popping up as one of the places. And if you tap on that, this is going to bring up a map of all the different places that you've taken photos, and the GPS on your phone records that location automatically. When you upload them to Google Photos, it starts making a map of all the places you visited. Now if I take my fingers and put them on my phone's screen and I start pinching them towards each other, that's going to start shrinking down the areas where I've taken a lot of photos as I keep pinching my fingers together and shrinking the map even more. Any of those different colored areas, kind of like a heat map, you're gonna see those areas. Those are all different places we have taken pictures. And I can then go the opposite way with pinching my fingers outward to zoom back in, and then if I tap any of those colored areas, that's going to bring up different photos from that location, and then I can see those at the bottom of my screen. I can scroll through them, like when we went to the Grand Canyon. I can choose to press my finger down on any of these photos, and again, go ahead and tap any photos that I want to select those photos. When I've got those photos all selected, I can then go to that plus button at the top of the screen, and I can choose to create an album. I can call it whatever I want. I might want to call it the Grand Canyon because that's where those photos were taken, and create an album based on location easily by just using the map feature. So let's talk about archiving photos. You can archive photos when you don't want them showing up in your feed. So right now I'm scrolling through my photos feed, and you can see we were at a campfire and we made some great food, and I also took a bunch of pictures at the top here of recipes, and it's great, but I don't want those recipes showing up in my photos feed, and this might be the same for you if you've taken pictures of important documents, maybe some bills you have. You can still keep them in your photos collection. You're just going to take them out of the feed of photos that you have. You can do this very simply by archiving them by just long pressing your finger on one photo or multiple photos. And when you have those selected, in the upper right corner of the screen, you tap on the three dots and you can move those to archive. Now those are all going to disappear from my photos feed. Now at any time you can unarchive those. What you're going to do is go to your library by tapping that button in the lower right corner. When you're at your library, at the top you'll see different buttons. The second one down is archive. If I tap on that, now I can see all those different recipes that I archived. I can select one by long pressing it, or I can select all of them. I can touch the day to select all of them. And then again, by going to those three dots at the top of the screen in the right, I can unarchive those, and now those pop back up in my photos feed. Nice feature of archiving photos. Another cool thing about Google Photos that I love is the fact that it very easily allows you to do animations. So you can create like an animated GIF. You can create collages, and you can even create slideshows, mini movies from the pictures that you've taken. You can easily do this inside the app. The recent fishing trip I did with my son, we caught some great fish, and I can long press down on any of these photos, and that is going to select those photos. So I'm going to choose a couple of them, and from this point I can then tap the plus button at the top of the screen. And from here, this brings up a menu that I can create. We had those albums, the shared album, and then I've got movie, animation, collage. I'm going to start with the animation because that'll allow me to create an animated GIF. And it's going to go through, it's going to show all those different pictures that I've put together into an animation. And now from this point, I can share this animation. So I can go down to share at the bottom of my screen. This brings up different sharing options. So I can share this with other people that are already in my photos that I've sent other stuff to, or I can share this animation to other apps such as my Google Drive. I can text this animation to somebody. I can also create a link, and if I send this link to myself on a computer, I can then download this GIF and use it wherever I want if I want to post it somewhere using a computer. I can also message this GIF to myself. I can upload it to like a Google Drive and then download it from there to another device or another computer at a later point. That is for doing an animation. Now if we jump back, I'm just going to X out of this and we're going to back up just a step. Again, we're back at the photos, and I'm going to select a couple of these photos, and let's say I want to post these somewhere like on Facebook. Again, I've got my photos selected. I can go to my plus button at the top of the screen, and I can make a collage, and it's going to automatically create that collage of those pictures, which then again, I can go down to the share button in the bottom left portion of my screen. I can either send that directly to somebody or share it to the different apps that are available. If I click more, that gives me options to go out to social media as well. So one more time, I'm going to X out of this and back up. I'm going to back up one more time. I'm back to those Google Photos. The last thing is I can create a slideshow. Again, I'm going to take several of these photos. We're just going to go ahead and select them. Go to my plus button at the top of the screen and then go to Movie. Let's click on movie. It takes a second to create the movie, and it's downloading those clips. And then from this point, I can tap the play button. It's actually going to play the clips that we've got. And if I want to adjust the amount of time that each one of those clips is appearing, I can just drag these sliders. I can also long hold down on any of these photos to put them in any order that I want. Now from this point, I've also got the option, these little icons over on the right just underneath the pictures. So one is a portrait or landscape option. If I tap back out of that, the other one's the music note. I can add in music that I might have saved on my phone or device, or I can choose from theme music that's already in Google, and I can tap on the different ones. It'll give me samples of that music. So once I've got my pictures set up for my show, I can go ahead and hit save, and then it's going to create that movie slideshow for me. And then from that point, just like the animation, just like the collages, once it is done saving all of that, the easiest way to find that movie would be going to the search at the bottom of the screen. And then I'm going to just search up top for video. And if I click on videos, it's going to go through my feed and it's going to show me any other movies or videos that I have. That first one in the top left, that's the one that I just created. If I tap on that, this is going to go into that slideshow and I can watch it. I can tap the screen and pause it. Down at the very bottom, I can click that share button, and just like all the other collages and animations, I can upload this movie slideshow. It is an MP4 file to my Google Drive, Dropbox, all sorts of different options for where you want to share that to. From that point, I can then download that slideshow to another program on a computer. If I was going to turn that into maybe a DVD or post that online somewhere, it's really convenient that Google Photos will easily create a slideshow movie, and you can do all this right from your phone or device. And if you've learned anything from any of these tips during this video, take a second and smash that like button. I greatly appreciate it. It helps out this video as well as this channel. So another thing I want to tell you about is Google Lens, a very cool app also put out by Google that you can go into the Google Play Store, go ahead and install. Once you have this installed, it works with using your Google Photos app. And if you have any photos of anything that you have taken pictures of that is some sort of a product, something that you can buy, Google Photos is going to connect to your Google Lens and show you where that thing is available. So as an example, when we were in Mexico, my son is wearing a sombrero, and now that I've installed Google Lens, at the bottom of the screen under this photo I see Lens. If I tap on Lens, Google is going to find that sombrero, and using its visual capabilities, it's going to find other sombreros that are similar to that on Amazon or other places and link right to those, allowing me to just click one of those options to potentially purchase whatever it is. So as another example, I was taking pictures of the GoPro Hero 9 for one of the review videos I did on this channel. Here it is in a picture, and if I click Lens on the bottom of the screen, Google is going to do the best it can to align up with that GoPro Hero 9 different products. Now I know in that picture I also show the case, the box, so it's looking for that. It's also looking for anything else that's in that picture, and then it's just giving me direct links to all these different products, all these different GoPro Heroes. Here's the GoPro Hero 9, so I can tap on any of these, making it very easy if you take a picture of something that you later want to shop for. Using Google Lens is going to allow you to find it very quickly and match it up and find the best prices online for things you just quickly took a picture of. And as promised, let's take a look at how you can free up space on your phone or device that you've installed the Google Photos app on. Click on your profile in the upper right portion of your screen. That brings up your account information, and right in the middle of the screen you'll see where it says free up space. And I can free up almost a gig's worth of space, 890 megabytes. If I tap on that, It says here you're ready to free up space. These items are already safely backed up in your chosen quality. You can still view them at any time in Google Photos. So if I tap on the free up 890 megabytes of space, it's actually going to remove those photos off of my device because they're already stored in the Google Photos app. So if you're looking for other ways to free up space on your phone or device, using Google Photos with the backup and sync is a great way to save some space on your phone. So I'm interested to know, what are your favorite features of using Google Photos? Are there any tips that you would have for anybody else or even myself that I missed mentioning in this video? Let me know down in the video comments section below. You can also check out all the other cool tip and tech tutorial videos I've done on this channel. Ways to save space on your phone, how to transfer different files, even convert MP3 files from other audio files, and more. All those will be in my tech playlist, which will be popping up here or linked down in the video description below. And my name is Jeff. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to make every day awesome, and I will see you in the next video.